Hey guys, what's going on? Anonymous 2K back on Marvel Contest of Champions. Today we have another arena grinding video, and this time it's Mordo. Before we get into it, we do Marvel Contest of Champions gameplay and review right here on the channel, so make sure to smash that like button and subscribe button. Let's jump into it. The last weekend we have Mordo as a basic champion. I went for him. I grinded about 6 point something million. I'm certain that I know that I got him. Actually, I was waiting to make this video, and I was waiting to see what was the cutoff, because I knew it's gonna be high, but I didn't really knew how high he's going to go. We did like 6.2 million, as you guys can see right here, 6,213,000. I really wanted to get him as a dupe, because I have him as a base. I already have him as a champion, but I wanted to dupe him up. So we duped him. His cutoff went for 5.1 million. 5.1 million. It's the by far the highest champion that we had after the changes for the arena. After Quake, she won like 4.7, but right now he is 5.1. I wonder how high will Mordo go in about a week. So let's claim him, go over his stats a little bit real quick, and see how good or how bad he is. Alright, so basically Mordo is a Mystic champion. He's got a lot of things for working for him. I'm gonna go quickly. I'm gonna go quickly over his stats. Right now, again, he's at rank 4 out of 5. We can see the stats right here: 11,000 health, 11,700 health, 861 damage, 557 without the Suicide Masters, without the boosts. His attributes are right here, as you guys can see. Let's go over his synergy bonuses. He's got nice synergies. As we see, enemies. Well, you can run like 2 Mordos, like 4, 5, 4-star, and a 5-star or 4-star and 3-star, and get nice enemy stacks right there. As far as his abilities, okay, signature ability is that he gains energy resistance while he's blocking. Basically, it's not an offensive ability; it's a defensive one. And of course, the 1300 number goes up. He was just awakened. I'm not gonna put a lot of stones in him, even if I'm gonna put any into him, because it's just worthless unless he's on the defense, and you don't really get to fight a lot of energy champions. So you have Ultron, you have Magneto, and all the rest is just abilities, right? So ranking up that signature ability is not worth it unless he's one of your top prestige guys, and you need to get as much as prestige as possible from that champion. So moving over, he has an astral form. We're gonna touch it a little bit later. He has he resists to ability accuracy effects, so this is a good thing. But what is more important, that every 8-second Mordo gets a bar of power for 5 seconds, while in his power gain, opponents can interrupt by landing a hit on Mordo. Basically what that means is every 8 seconds you're gonna gain you're gonna get a power bar, a power gain bar that lasts for 5 seconds. Is going to be enough to get you 1 full power bar. This is one way to get extra power from him, and you get it on rotation. Something that is very useful and very good. While stunned, this is something that everybody knows, and this is the basic big thing about this champion. While stunned, even while stunned, Mordo's actual form senses incoming non-special attacks and quickly counteract, inflicting the degeneration for 688.8 direct damage over 2.5 seconds. What that means, that if Mordo gets stunned and you try to attack him, you're gonna get you're gonna get inflicted. That means that you will not be able to land that hit, and you get degeneration on you that's gonna hit you for about, let's say, 700 damage over 2.5 seconds. Of course, that number goes up as you rank him up. This is something that people use as much as possible in Alliance War defense because, well, instead of using a champion on, it makes him like you put him on unstunnable mode. No, but of course there are champions that can bypass that. The ones that are come in mind are Iceman. You have Drax. You have Agent Venom, and you have Elektra with her heavy attack. So you have all those champions that can bypass Mordo's astral projection, but of course when you go into the Alliance War, you don't really know where he's at. So this is something to consider. The next good thing about Mordo, and people just overlook this, is while blocking. After holding a block for 0.5 seconds, Mordo can become unblockable for special attacks. This is a nice thing, but sorry, that was not the main thing that people are overlooking, in my opinion. The heavy attacks. Mordo gains 16.6 of the maximum power per second while below 1 power bar while you charging your heavy attack. Basically, you can charge the heavy attack with Mordo just as you do with Quake. Quake does damage, Mordo gains power while charging, of course, while under 1 bar of power. Additionally, he exponentially gains up to 10 Fury stacks while charging that heavy attack. Each charge increases the attack by 129 damage. So, if you start a fight and you just parry, move back, charge that heavy attack, you can get, in a matter of 2 seconds or something, your first special bar full with a 16.6 attack, 16.6%, and you get 10 extra furies that will deal 129 damage. Let's say 130 extra damage on top of your regular damage. You have, well, I have right now 1400 damage with Mordo. If I charge 10 of those stacks, it's gonna add 1300 damage. So basically, charging that heavy attack up until the 10 stacks, that is very easy, is gonna double your damage output with Mordo. Double the damage. A very important thing to keep in mind. You can double that damage, and it's a very, very, very strong ability. What I'm gonna tell you guys, just keep that in mind, and we're gonna come back when we talk about that second special, because there's some trick that I found out that you can do that just wrecks everything that you go up against, of course, depending on the situation. His first attack is most usable attack that people use, in my opinion. A very good attack, not by far, but his best attack. At that, you have 30% chance to stun the opponent for 3 seconds. That's a nice thing. Causing degeneration inflicts almost 700 direct damage over 2.5 seconds. The main important thing to remember and keep in mind that if the opponent has a buff, the degeneration will active even after a successful block. That means that if you're fighting any champion that has any buffs on him and you use that first special, even that he blocked it, the degen is gonna apply. You cannot apply the stun for 3 seconds. You cannot apply the actual damage of the special, but the degen, the 700 damage, will get into the effect. Remember, guys, you do damage based on your you do the direct damage with the special attacks based on your damage. That means that if you have that 10 stacks already charged up, you have double the damage. So instead of, let's say, 700 damage, you're gonna do 1400 damage, like maybe a little less, not 1400, yes, 1400 damage, like 1400 damage, direct damage over 2.5 seconds. Start the fight, block, dash back, charge that heavy attack, get that SP1, fire it off, before he even has the chance to come at you. You're already doing 1,400 direct damage, and there is, as far as I know, no degen immune champions in the game. So this is a very, very, very useful thing to do. Of course, you can always rinse and repeat that. Charge, heavy attack 1, charge, heavy attack 1. So, okay, so what do we have as far as the second special attack? As far as the second special attack, it's something that I really like using with Mordo, and I'll explain why. The opponent suffer from Mordo's Soul Barb spell for 14 seconds. So what that means that when you do the second special, you apply a Soul Barb on the opponent for 14 seconds. That Soul Barb deals 103 damage, energy damage per opponent's buff per second. That means that every single buff that the opponent is going to get, you're going to do 103 damage on top of that. Okay? Again, this 103 damage works on your damage. It comes from your personal damage. So if you have those 10 stacks charged up instead of the 103 damage, it's going to do about 200 damage per buff that he's got. In addition, Soul Barb reduces health recovery by 70%. So if you're using that against Ultron, if you're using against Wolverine, if you're using against all the Iron Mans that we have in a game, think about it. It does 103 damage on top of the 70% damage that he reduces the champion to gain. So if you're going against somebody that heals, that's special attack 2 will wreck them. It will not let them heal, and it will do damage on top of that. But that's not it. You have champions and you have nodes in the game that mirror the abilities that you have. I have tried that. Right now we have the Nebula monthly quest, and we have on the last node who's that? I think it's Thanos. Yes, we have Thanos, and he has the mirror ability. With that, we have an Alliance quest. Let me just show you where that is, which node I'm talking about, because this is important. Even though that I already passed that node, right here, this node. I don't remember the number of it. Yes, node number 26. On node number 26, we have the same ability, the mirror ability. What that means that if you have a champion there with, if you come with Mordo and you apply that second, special, right? You're gonna place the Soul Barb on the opponent that is going to do 103 damage on the opponent per buff that he has. Of course, I forgot to say, it works wonders against what's his name, Groot. Okay, so if you, let's say, with the mirror effect, you apply that Soul Barb, then you dash back and you charge your 10 stacks. What that will do, it will the node will mirror your 10 stacks to the opponent. So you will double your damage, and per energy damage you will do 200 damage per stack. But the enemy is gonna reflect your 10 stacks onto him. So what's it gonna do? That's a second special with the charge ability. You're gonna do 10 times 200 damage per second. 10 times 200 damage, that's 2,000 damage. You're gonna do 2,000 damage per second every second that you have all those 10 Furies up. That is insane. I just got it. I didn't have the chance to do the video on that, but it is a just crazy ability in my opinion. Charge those 10 stacks, do that special too, and you're just gonna wreck your opponent. Just stay back and let him get let him just die. So in my opinion, a lot of people just overseeing that that move. So this is something that you can do, and I have done it actually, and it's just off the chains. It's just crazy good. I'm going to try and do it in the upcoming Alliance Wars, just to show you guys, because I do think that a lot of people are overlooking Mordo, as I was saying for a long time, as far as the offensive champion, not just the defensive. Of course, the last but not the least, the second special 3 gains 3 stacks of Fury, each increasing his attack by 430 for 12 seconds. That's on top of the 10 that you can charge. Up to 40% chance based on health loss. Regenerate increased of gaining the Fury stacks. Recovering 1,760 health in 6 seconds. That means that you have about 40% chance that instead of the 3 Furies, you're gonna recover 1,700 damage per stack. It can be 1, it can be 2, but this just 40%. It can come in handy if you're having those long battles, those ones that just don't end. Or you just need to get a little bit more health just before you go on to your next opponent. But it's a nice thing to have in mind. But think about it, guys. You get to that third special, you get those 3 stacks that will increase your attack by 430. 433 times, that's 1,300 damage. 1,300 damage. 1,300 damage. You're gonna charge those 10 stacks and you get 1,300 damage, right? And that's on top of your 1,400 damage. So basically, in theory, what you can do, and that's just crazy to think about it as an offensive champion, and I know that a lot of people just overlook that, you can get that SP3, you can charge those 10 stacks, and you're gonna triple your damage output with Mordo for the upcoming like what, 10 seconds, 5 seconds. You can do that SP1, and instead of, where's that SP1? Instead of doing 700 direct damage, you're gonna do 2,000 direct damage. Like, you can do that once, twice, easy. You can use your SP3, charge up to SP2 real quick, and just apply that Soul Barb, and you're gonna do like 3,000 damage per stack on the opponent per second. The numbers, guys, are just crazy high numbers. So this is something that a lot of people just say, oh, yeah, he's a good champion, but are not really taking into consideration all that he has to offer. So what I'm going to do right now, you know what? No, I'm gonna go into the alliance and I'm gonna just duel somebody just to show you guys how good he is and what you can do and what most people are just not doing. So yeah, we got it here somewhere. Let's duel. Let's put up our 4-star Mordo. We just duped him. Oh yeah, there we go. So again, guys, don't forget, you have to take into consideration the Mordo is more of a champion that you need to know what you're doing. And this is a bad start. Boom. 462 damage per second. This is just crazy. And I'm not doing good. Yeah, we just won that. It doesn't really matter. But take a look. You can roll back. You know what? Let's do it again. Take a look and see how fast my power bar is charging when I'm doing the battle. So take a look how fast my power bar will charge, and when she comes, boom, SP1 started with 500 damage initially, guys. You see that? And I don't know why I didn't swipe back. Soul Barb, she's losing 140. Do you see how high her damage went up? Scroll back and see. Doesn't matter that I lost. I want you guys to see, after I applied the Soul Barb, she was getting dealt a certain amount of damage. While I was charging my heavy attack, that damage went up. So if your enemy has a few stacks, you better dash back and just charge that special that heavy attack. It's just gonna wreck the enemy. It's just a real quick video that I did right now, but basically you can imagine what's gonna happen if you go up against somebody that has a lot of stacks or something. In my opinion, super great champion for offense. A lot of people just overlook him. Go ahead and check him out for yourself. You still have the chance to get him at the arena. I do believe that it will not go over the 5.1 million as he was prior on the weekend. So if you like that champion, let me guys know if you do. If I missed something, let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know if you have the champion and you're using him in a different way that I used him. So I'll make a better video next time. I'm going to make some tests on the champion too, and I'm gonna post it in a different video. Up until now, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, there are more good stuff coming soon, so make sure to subscribe, make sure to like the video and share it. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.